everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick, it's not necessarily a reading today, more like a little bit of an information session, I suppose, but I will be time-stamping each individual sign because we are going to be looking today at how the Lenormand actually reacts to each individual sign and what card is represented by your sign, and talk a little bit about that so that when you are watching readings, if you do see that sort of card popping up and I'm not mentioning a specific sign, you will sort of know that there is that extra layer of information for you with that card. Meaning that, you yourself coming through in those sort of readings, okay? So each zodiac does have a specific card allocation with the Lenormand. I will just sort of quickly let you know, we do have shadow work coming up it will be uploaded on Monday the 19th Australian time for the full moon, okay? So there will be a day delay next week for the weekly readings. I'm not entirely sure while I'm filming this, but I may be doing the shorts today alongside this video as well. But the decks I am using to sort of show you the difference between some of the energies here. Firstly, we have the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. I have here the Fairy Tale Lenormand. What's this one? The modern Lenormand. Yes. The Terra Lenormand. And I also have the Kawaii Lenormand. Okay, so just wanting to sort of show you a bit of a range of different imagery associated with each card. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already, of course, guys. I do really appreciate that. It really does help keep us going here. It's being such a small channel. Okay, but I will timestamp each sign as well, so you'll see me doing that as well. Okay, so we're going to start off with Aries. And Aries, your card in the Lenormand is the Stork. Okay, so the Stork is a kind of a neutral-ish energy. If we're asking a yes or no question, the Stork does talk about yes. But the Stork, we do see the Stork in many, many forms here. So you can kind of see we have that big one there, just the plain Stork. We have this one here where they're, with the nest. The nest is sometimes important with the reading of the Stork card as well. We do see this Stork here with, you can kind of see it's carrying that baby in its beak there, coming up out of the water. The Stork it is the pregnancy card of the Lenormand as well, Aries. We do have this one here, which is more like a flamingo type Stork. But then this one is the interesting one I love for some of the representation of what the Stork card is all about here. We see the Stork here with his baggage. Okay, so there is quite a few meanings for the Stork, especially with the way that I read myself. The more traditional meanings are pretty much just change and movement, new beginnings, flexibility, changeability. Okay, so slight improvements in situations. There is improvements and changes, stirring up change. As you can kind of see with that particular Stork imagery, it's stirring up the water as it takes flight. Like I said, with that card as well, it is the pregnancy card. So you can see it there carrying that little baby. So as anyone, you probably have heard the thing about, the Storks bring the babies. They take the babies and drop them off at the parents. There was even a movie about it and everything called Storks. So the Stork really is the pregnancy card. But the way that I feel that relates, quite a lot of the time with the way that I read is, what else is pregnancy? It's a gestational period where, you're having to grow something inside yourself before you actually give birth to that out into the world. So that's why I really love this depiction of the Stork here, because this is all about you know, it's the process of packing those suitcases before you actually go and get on the flight. It's packing the suitcases, stirring things up, getting things, you know, shaking things up, getting things moving so that you're ready for that flight. Okay, so we see Aries, this is comes through the changes. It's the initial points of change, the idea of something needs to change. The idea that, oh yes, I'm going to pack my bags before I go on this flight. You know, so you know, Aries, there is a lot of flustered, busy kind of energy with the stork as well. So, you know, it keeps things moving. It is, and it is not unlike you, Aries. It can be a little bit of a shit stirrer. Okay, so Aries, you guys are known to be a little bit shit stirrers, you know. So I really kind of love that about the Aries energy there. I do quite frequently associate Aries with the bear card energy as well, and then there has been some times where I've also associated it with, you know, cards like the dog, you know, for friendship and loyalty and things like that, as well as the heart, because you guys are so passionate that I do feel that sometimes the heart does sort of really show a little bit of that Aries spirit coming through as well. But so if you do see the stork card popping up in readings, just be aware that that is your energy. So that may slightly influence readings, especially when I'm doing all signs readings. Sometimes I don't have enough sort of time to call out each individual card I'm seeing that represents a sign. Okay, so that's what we have for the Aries card, the stork. So embrace that energy, Aries. You know, get things moving. Don't stand there still as a you know, flamingo up on the one leg. Don't get stuck in that energy. The stork is all about, you know, transferring things and moving things and, you know, bringing new things out into the world. It's the ideas. Okay, so you're the first idea that anything has before it can even, you know, come out into reality there. All right, Aries. So that's your card. We'll move over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. Your card in the Lenormand is the ring. Okay, so traditionally the ring does talk about agreements, devotion, contracts, relationships, you know, marriage and cooperation in that sense, togetherness, but it also does talk heavily about cycles. Okay, we always see the ring, you know, it's a cycle, it's a loop, getting yourself stuck in a loop, in a pattern, but it's a very strong energy, the ring. It is quite often talking about relationships. We can see in majority of the energies, we do see the ring. It always is kind of represented by an actual ring, you know, in all varying types. I don't know that I do have a deck or two. I don't have I should have actually pulled it out here, but I do have there's maybe one deck, and I cannot even think of which deck it is, where the ring is actually represented more by like this, like a ring, oh, hang on, I'm just checking this deck to see if it is actually this deck, but I personally associate the ring quite frequently with cycles. Oh, so it's an actual ring in that one as well. So we have the bird carrying the ring, but you know, it's that cycle. You know, I do sort of, sometimes I see it as, you know, the cycle of you know, like life, things like that. But it's really a lot of the time talking about the patterns, the cycles that you find yourself trapped in. But Taurus, it is a very strong energy here. You know, it does, like I said, usually denote some type of cooperation. You yourself, Taurus, do seem to be, you know, somebody who is able to sort of get along with everybody. But you guys are sort of the cycle breakers of the Lenormand as well, where you have this opportunity in your lifetime to really, you know, end out any cycles that just don't work for you and move forward into, better cycles for yourself. So it's a relatively simple explanation for the ring. Most people, when they see a ring, they're going to have a bit of a clue of what that's all about. I personally believe that the Lenormand is kind of very symbolic of, what we know, popular culture of rings. So there's been a few little odd ones I've gotten though with the ring as well, because there has been a couple of times when I've been drawn to, I don't know whether you guys would know it, but it's the red ring of death, okay? And it was like this thing on Xbox or PlayStation or something, right? And when the red ring would come up on the screen, it was like there's no fixing the PlayStation anymore. That cycle is over. You can't use that PlayStation anymore. And it was called the red ring of death or whatever. So, but it's all about circular motions and connections. So it's a very, sometimes I do feel it should be more along the lines of like the infinity sort of sign, because we do still see that connection and whatnot with that, but it is what it is. But that's what your card in the Lenormand is, Taurus. So if you do see it popping up in readings, just keep that in mind, that is your energy. Okay, so strength for you from the ring energy. Strong relationship with self. Okay, we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini, your symbol in the Lenormand is the fish. Okay, card number 34 in the deck. It is a positive energy. It talks about money, Gemini. Money, money, money. I feel like a lot of the time, I do associate quite a few other signs with the fish energy because of the water element. Okay, but traditionally it's a Gemini because the twins, right? You see the twins. The fish usually comes in a pairing, and that is kind of symbolic of one of the external messages that the fish holds, which is, like there's lots of fish in the sea, but you've got your perfect little fish here. So it can hold that sort of a meaning here with the fish, but ultimately it usually is a financial message. It's about abundance and wealth, expansion, multiplying, and just success in money in general, materialism, commerce, profits, those sorts of things. But there is that, especially when you're not doing a financial based reading, it definitely can link a little bit more to, a general sense of wealth and having fullness of everything in your life here. It can also link up with that, finding the perfect catch, the one fish in the sea that's your little fish, so that you can swim around together. We do see in other cards, we do see multiple fish coming through and in different ways. Here we've got a fast moving fish. The fish generally is kind of fast moving, being a water energy there. We see, usually the koi fish typically represent that because, koi fish are seen to be very lucky and money oriented, like money sort of luck. We see the fish swimming around the stars here, which is, representative of wishes and dreams, that you're sort of having success, getting on top of all that. I do have one particular deck. I believe it's my brand new deck. Sorry, I should have pulled this out already, and really pulled these out before I started, but sorry. There is one particular card that does embody the fish energy slightly different, which I really actually like this this analogy, I suppose, of the fish energy. It had to be the very last card. But you can see here, it's the fish swimming around the pirate treasure. So it does add this layer of depth. Okay, the fish card is about deepness, richness, things down deep, and that fullness, that richness. So there is a lot of richness and fullness with that energy as well. Okay, so it is relatively straightforward, being the fish energy there. But when you do see that popping out in readings, it just gives you that extra layer of knowledge, knowing that that's all about you as well, and that you yourself embrace that energy, that, materialism, and being successful in having that deepness of self, and good profit with whatever it is that you're aiming towards in your personal life. Works out well for you there, Gemini. Okay, but we'll move over to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Unsurprisingly, anyone that does watch tarot or anything like that, you won't be surprised to see that the Cancer card is the Moon. Okay, it does have quite a few meanings here, the Moon card. The more traditional meanings can be more along the lines of, career relations, success, fame, um, you know, dreams, subconscious, nighttime, like literally nighttime. That's when the moon is out. We do see, though, that the moon, the way that I read with the moon, we do see, like here's the dreams unlocking the subconscious. I do feel a strong connection with the moon card and the subconscious, especially when it comes to your intuition. Okay, like following the moon. We see it in all forms here: full moons, crescent moons. Also very tied to the moon energy. It does talk a lot about emotional sensitivities as well, but I feel a lot of the time the emotional sensitivities that Cancer is embracing and connected to here is actually coming from that intuition. It's coming from that, there's a sense of beauty and luck with the moon as well, and it's all the fun stuff happens when the moon rises, right? That's when the werewolves come out. So it's like it changes something, within the emotional component of people, and it's all about, following your intuition, following, you're following the things that you're very sensitive to, whether that be your emotions, or whether that be, just something in your gut telling you to do this or do that, or you've had a dream that has led you here, and those sorts of energies as well. So it's a very beautiful energy. It is, like I said, it does talk about fame and success in those sorts of things as well. So it's like, the equal to the sun, but just at nighttime. So, without the darkness, we wouldn't have the light. So there is this lovely energy with the moon where, we need the nighttime in order to, cool things down so that when the sun comes back out again, it's not overheating the whole planet, and like think about how lovely it is to just sit and look up at the moon. It's one of those things where it's like, there's a lot of energy that comes through with the moon, and it's a very spiritual kind of energy as well, Cancer. So I really do love that about the moon card for you. So, if you do see the moon card coming out, oh, my banner's just fallen, has it? If you do see the moon card coming out in readings, just know that that is your energy, and there is a beautiful softness to that, but it'll sort of give you a bit of an indication of, you showing up in readings, even if I don't, call it out in the video. Okay, moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo. Anyone that does watch the channel, I do tend to call your card out quite often. It is the Sun card, is the Leo energy. Unsurprisingly, I do also associate the Bear card quite strongly with Leo as well, being that your tarot energy is the strength, the lion representing Leo, and the bear is the lion's equal in the Lenormand. So I do quite frequently associate with the bear energy for you as well, Leo. But the sun, it's happiness, optimism, charm, power, insight, spirit, guidance, okay? Some of the traditional meanings for it there: determination and optimism, okay? The sun reveals and brightens and warms and, brings things to light. It's a beautiful energy, and it shines with a lot of happy energy. It's a very happy energy here. So we do see quite a few different representations. That one to me does look a little bit more like the lion sort of strength imagery that we do tend to see with tarot. We see you here as a burning red hot. Red hot. So there's a lot of passion behind you as well here, Leo. But what a lovely end to the day. You're shining bright all day, and then you have the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises. The Leo energy is quite strong. But this particular card here in the fairy tale deck, we see the sun, shining on true happiness there, where the prince awakens Sleeping Beauty. So there is definitely a lot of happiness associated with your energy, but it's coming from strength and optimism and hope and knowing that, what needs to be brought to light will come to light. Okay, so it's a beautiful energy. It does have a strong pull on destiny and luck as well. But when you do see the sun card popping out in readings, you will know that that is your energy, and it sort of just gives you that extra layer for the readings when you're seeing that pop out there as well. Okay, so we'll move over to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo, your card in the Lenormand, we have the tree. Okay, so a lot of the traditional meanings centered around the tree do center around, the body and illness and health kind of stuff, your natural environment, vitality, life. Tree is all about life, brings the life, it grow. But see, this is the way I kind of interpret it a lot more, is it grows. It heals and grows, and the tree is a really lovely energy because it can be, struck by lightning and still grow around the lightning strike. It can bend with a strong cyclone without actually breaking. The tree is it's like the life force. It can talk about so many different things here as well. We do see this one does sort of show us a little bit more of some of the health aspects hiding in there. We do sort of see the connectedness with the tree energy there as well. So for a lot of people, that connects to ancestry, comes through with the tree as well. Your family tree can come through with the tree energy, growth and education, wisdom quite frequently, because trees can grow really, really old. So there's a lot of wisdom that comes with the tree energy as well. Sometimes education, learning. We also do see with the lovely, beautiful tree energy, self-care comes through very strong. It's all about yourself. Something I like to say a lot is, I am a tree. Okay, I try to focus myself sometimes by doing meditations where I focus on I am a tree, because like I said, you bend with the breeze, you don't break. So you follow life's journey for you with patience. So there's a lot of, still patience, calm energy that comes along with the tree as well. Look at this beautiful design in this card that we have for the tree. There's only so many ways you can showcase what a tree looks like, right? But the tree energy, Virgo, it does really embrace your spirit, in the sense that there's not that much movement. It's a very solid, stable kind of energy. There's a sense of patience that comes with the tree, a sense of wisdom that comes with the tree, but also, the potential for growth and new growth at any given time. You shift with the seasons quite frequently there as well. But I do find, when we're talking about health with the tree, I don't necessarily read it as straight health. It's more along the lines of caring for one's physical body. So, self-care, taking care of self, does come through quite strongly with the tree energy. Okay, so if you do see the tree popping up in readings, you will know that that is your energy popping through, even if I don't call that out. Okay, I'm just going to quickly pause for a quick drink, and I will move on to Libra's card Okay, so Libra, your card in the Lenormand is the Crossroads. Okay, so occasionally this is called pathways or the road, but generally I just call it the Crossroads card or the road card. But as you can see here, it's all about choices and decisions. Which path am I going to take? All right, that we do see some beautiful representations of that. You can kind of see in this card we've got one solid path, but it's all about maybe moving off the path. Should we take a new path? Traditionally, it's all about alternatives as well. So we do see in this one a decision, choices, doubt, and traveling. Moving forwards, more so than actual travel. Traveling cards would usually show up through the ship, but it's all about short trips, or sometimes it can literally talk about getting on the road and packing up and getting on the road. For some of you there, I don't normally read it that way as such, but we do see here this one sort of shows it in a different way, where one path may lead to lots of detours, a little bit of hardship along that path, and then we've got the clear sunny path. It's like knowing to make the right decision, or following your inner path, and those sorts of things. Sometimes we do see it shown more as like a compass. There is a deck or two that it's shown more so as a compass. It's all about following your true path, finding your true north, following the path that is right for you, making the choices that are right for you, that you're guided to here. I love this particular representation of it as the choice between the two doorways, because ultimately the crossroads, it really does lead you to a decision. Am I going to choose door A or door B? And so this is very representative of Libra, in the sense that there's balance. Okay, either way you're going to get to that destination. The destination remains the same. It's your destiny, your fate, your your path. No matter which actual door you choose, it's the right path for you. So this card does show up usually when there's a strong decision that you're needing to make, or showing us that there's a choice coming up for you along your path. Okay, so it does a lot of the time help guide us down the right path as well, which I find really embraces the Libra energy. You guys are very guiding sources of energy for the people around you. So I really love that about the Libra energy. But if you do see it showing up in readings, you do know now that that is your energy. So if I don't call it out, that you at least know that is a bit of an extra representation for you. Okay, so looking at Scorpio, your card, Scorpio, we have the snake. Okay, so we do see the snake in many different forms. There's a more sort of twisty, windy one there. This particular one I just showed you, it's got the loop there, which does connect it to the Ouroboros kind of energy. For quite a lot of the snake energy, sometimes we pick up on the Ouroboros energy, same as in that one there. But the snake imagery, when Lenormand was started, the snake imagery came from the story of Adam and Eve, okay, where the snake got convinced Eve to eat the apple. So it can sometimes talk about, the traditional meanings would talk about deception or betrayals. Somebody, maybe guiding you in the wrong direction, lying, misguidance, illusions, chaos, temptation, seduction, and cunning kind of energy, which ultimately can be seen very negatively. But personally, I do feel that there's a lot of stuff that goes on with the snake energy, especially with my personal influence. I do read very intuitively, and my personal influences in pop culture and things like that. We see ideas sometimes popping into the readings where it's the Medusa kind of thing, where this you get seduced by Medusa, and if you look at her too closely, she'll turn you to stone kind of thing. But the other one that I really love, this particular card kind of really showcases it, is the rainbow serpent from Aboriginal culture. It's where life was created from, was the rainbow serpent. Okay, so snakes, there's you know, sometimes it's hard to tell the beginning and the end. That's hard to help tell the head from the tail. It's very interesting energy with, and they can be very charming. See, we see the snake charmer kind of energy there as well. So the snake energy, it can be a little bit, you know, it can be a little bit misguiding or disillusionment in some kind of a sense. But quite a lot of the time when we see the disillusionment with the snake, or the deception with the snake, quite often it's actually self-deception. And it's like something that you're telling yourself that is kind of like not necessarily the full extent of the truth. So it's like putting on that false ideal to yourself to sort of, so that you can, you know, cope, deal. But there is also quite a strong pull with the snake energy, especially being the Scorpio card. And you've probably heard me mention this multiple times, because I do sometimes associate Scorpio with the whip energy as well. And that is because of the sexual component to the snake energy. Okay, so we even hear phrases like trouser snake come out of my mouth sometimes. But it's all about, you know, the passion and desire, seduction, you know. So it's the snake really does have this really big charm to it. A lot of the time when it's talking about physical stuff, it's quite often very short term physical and just physical attraction and desire. Okay, so quite often if it's talking about sexual stuff, it's just those short-term hookups, or just a physical thing rather than a full emotional thing, you know, depending on what cards we see around that as well. But it's not all as bad as everyone. It's exactly like you, Scorpio. It's not as bad as people make out. And these days, you know, too, especially in modern culture, snakes are actually, you know, life bringers in a lot of ways. I'm just trying to think which deck has the perfect example of that, because in quite a lot of the decks, the snake is actually shown with an egg. Okay, the snakes, you know, lay eggs. So there is this element with the snakes, you know, that they are kind of a little bit dragon-like. So we see the snake guarding the egg there. The snake can quite often, you know, it it it's hard to explain where I'm sort of meaning here, but it like brings things, it nurtures that egg and looks after that egg, and like until it hatches. So it's kind of like, you know, sometimes these things, even though it may appear negative, it's what's necessary to actually bring life, to bring new life, especially with the snake. Sometimes, you know, that Ouroboros, that the end is just the beginning. So it's a very sort of infinite loop here, beginnings and endings, and so the egg, you know, it really does protect those eggs as well. And it's a strong kind of energy here. There's definitely a strength that comes with the snake card as well. And I do feel for a lot of you, Scorpio, that you have that within yourself as well. That, you know, a lot of people perceive Scorpio as, you know, negative sign, but it's really, there's a lot more depth and passion to Scorpio under the surface, which, you know, what's you know, Scorpio, the scorpion, it's this cute little creature that has got this like big giant pincers that you think that the pincers are going to get you, but no, the pincers aren't going to get you. It's that tail at the back that Scorpio keeps hidden. You know, they illusions. Okay, it's the illusion of having these big pincers, but really it's the tail that's going to cause the damage. And it just really embraces Scorpio in a really interesting kind of way. And I actually, you know, I personally am a big fan of Scorpios, so I do really enjoy the Scorpio energy. So you know, I do love this snake kind of energy. And the other beautiful thing about the snake energy too is it can, you know, slide its way around things. If it's hit with a big obstacle, it'll find a way through. It'll find the smallest little crack and squeeze its way through. You know, it doesn't necessarily move in a straight A to B line. It, you know, it snakes its way through. And so there's a lot of different meanings for the snake card. Sometimes we also see, you know, snake in the grass, like somebody that's, you know, hiding. in the grass from, and not actually like letting themselves be seen here as well. So there is quite a lot of interpretations for the snake energy. So but at least now you know that when you do see that coming through in readings, that there is that extra layer for you, Scorpio, because that is your energy. Okay, so that may help you, if you are watching readings regularly, to know that the snake is not, it's a lot of people keep snakes as pets, and the snakes, there's a wisdom with snakes as well. Like anyone that's watched Harry Potter and there's the whole Slytherin house. So these days, in the modern interpretations of Lenormand, I personally feel that needs to be taken into account, because, Harry Potter is a worldwide thing, and the whole Slytherin house and the parcel tongue, snakes have this extra, there's a wisdom there and a strength there as well. It's not all bad with the snakes. Okay, so I kind of love that for you. All right, but at least you will know if you do see that popping up as well. Okay, so moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, your card in the Lenormand, we have the Clover. Okay, in this one you kind of see the more Scottish thistle type clovers there. But, we do also see the very traditional 4-leaf clovers being represented. It's so interesting to me that clover looks so many different ways. Okay, because, we've got the pink clover there. And then you see this clover with the little sprouts. And then, your standard 4-leaf clovers come through as well. So obviously with the 4-leaf clover, you can pretty much guess straight away what the clover means. It's all about good luck. Good luck being on your side. It does also hold meanings of, happiness and positive expectations. It is a very, very positive energy. Good luck and hope and good news on the way. The wish to act, the need to, take a chance and jump in the deep end. Sometimes the clover does actually talk about, a positive investment. Quite frequently you will hear me say with the clover energy, taking a chance, taking a risk. Luck is on your side. Good fortune is there for you if you want to take a risk. Sometimes the clover card is like jumping in the deep end, come what may. And whatever risk you're taking, high risk, high reward, a lot of the time those risks really pay off for you with the clover card. Okay, and now I really love the clover card for Sagittarius, because I have said to many people that, to me personally, Sagittarius is like the honorary earth energy. You guys are very earthy, in the sense that it's all about growing. I love the fact that Sagittarius is all about growing, whether it be growing as a person or educating yourself a lot. I know quite a lot of Sagittarians that have super green thumbs and, love gardening and physically growing things. Very creative energy as well for quite a lot of Sagittarius. So the clovers is perfect for you guys, because it's all, good luck comes from what you allow to grow in yourself and your life. So you really embracing the growth kind of aspect and learning aspects. But if you do see that popping up in readings, you will know that is got that extra layer of meaning, that it is all about you, okay? So we will have a look at Capricorn. Capricorn. You guys have probably all heard me say it a million times. The mountain is Capricorn. And honestly, this is one of the most perfect representations within the Lenormand. I do also associate Capricorn quite frequently with the bear and the sun energy, because, the sun, we have a lot of strength coming from both the sun and the bear, that protectiveness from the bear as well, kind of business boss bitch kind of energy with the bear a little bit there as well. The mountain energy, it's a very interesting energy. Traditionally this talks about obstacles, challenges, blockages, delays that we're facing here. Even on this one, this one has got some very off-center traditional meanings. It's got hostility, worry, sadness, problems, and obstacles. But there's a lot more to a Capricorn than just the obstacles, just the hard facade that we place out there. We may look like this big, terrifying mountain that is just this giant, big blockage in your way. But hard work, persistence, determination. That is what the mountain card is all about. It's obstacles that can be overcome. It's all about being willing to put in the hard work to climb that mountain. Every mountain can be climbed. We see even mountains like Mount Everest, right? They can be climbed with a lot of hard work and persistence. They can be climbed, and you can reach the summit. And then when you get to the top, wow, can you see everything from up there? You know exactly where you're going, which is exactly like Capricorn. You put in the hard work to climb and climb and climb and know exactly where you're going when you hit the top, when you hit that achievement at the top. So that's why that they do sort of say Capricorns are quite often very, very successful. It's because you put in the work to climb the mountain. Even mountains like Mount Everest, if I can just picture a Capricorn sort of saying, there's all these dead bodies littered up among the mountainside, and Capricorn, they're just too weak. They weren't determined enough. Not gonna lie, that's obviously not the truth, guys. Don't take that. But we do see opportunities come with the mountain as well. Every obstacle is an opportunity, okay? Because at the tops of mountains, what do we do when we get to the top? We stick our flag in and we like, woo, we made it. I was here first person to the top of this mountain. It's an achievement. It's an opportunity to, explore new worlds. It's amazing energy. I really love it for you, Capricorn. And I do quite often talk about the mountain energy being Capricorn's energy perfectly. So you probably do already know, but at least if you weren't aware that is the Capricorn energy. But with me being a Capricorn, I do tend to talk about that quite a lot and bring that one up every time I see the mountain fly out. I'm like, is it a Capricorn? Because close to my heart, of course. Okay, but moving over to Aquarius. Aquarius, you guys have got one of the most beautiful cards in the whole deck. We have the Star card, one of my personal favorites in the whole deck. We do see the stars being represented here. Just a nice, beautiful little stars there, very plain in that particular card. It does talk about, the traditional meaning is more along the lines of inspiration, achievement, guidance, new beginnings, the universe, the occult, blessings, purposefulness, hope, optimism. The way that I intuitively read the stars card quite a lot of the time is that, you wished upon a star and here it is. Here's the star that you are getting falling from the sky into your lap. Okay, so the star is very muchly about your achievements, your wishes, your dreams, the things that you truly desire coming into fruition for you. So everything's sort of landing in your lap there. It does. Sometimes I do find, especially with the modern sort of interpretations, sometimes it does come through as literally famous kind of star as well, like you're going to be a star. That kind of thing does come through with the star as well. But it does also talk about guidance, you think about the North Star, follow the North Star to follow guidance, wishing upon a star, those sorts of things coming through here. There's the guidance coming through in that particular star. It does look a little bit like a compass point in that star, but stars have got so much different imagery. I do sort of say to people that, with the stars, there is a strong spiritual pull because it's a celestial card as well. So, every time I sort of see the stars, I do kind of feel this energy of, like looking up into the stars and, really, you need the stars to shine in the darkness. If if there was no darkness, the stars wouldn't shine, but the stars are like these little pinpricks of light that you know, really light up the whole entire sky. So there's these little moments of happiness that really light up the sky. The interesting thing is the stars are, you know, suns. And this, what is the sun but happiness, and you know, things being revealed, bliss and happiness. So it's a beautiful message with the stars card. There's another one with lots of little stars there. I love this particular card. We see you know, the tribal figure up there with the stars in their eyes coming through there as well. Anyone that watches The Simpsons, this card always reminds me of the big booby lady swinging her boobs around, the mystic lady that, you know, so there is a real celestial sense that comes through with the stars as well. Like, and I do feel quite a lot of the time it's like your dreams. Sometimes it can be your actual dreams as well coming through to the surface, that, you know, the things that you dream about at nighttime, the things that you wish for in your dreams, bringing those into reality in some sort of a sense as well. So I really love that energy for you, Aquarius. You know, you guys are the space cadets, right? I'm not going to lie. I have called you that a few times. You guys are my space cadets, and I absolutely love it. You're like, you know, I've heard other readers call you things like aliens because you guys are up in the stars. You literally are up in the stars. And, you know, never saying anything horrible about Aquarius at all. I actually really love this about Aquarius, because you guys have this beautiful uniqueness. It's like you're not of this world, and that's why you're hearing people say things like that about Aquarius. Okay, because a lot of people look up to you for guidance as well, and you don't even realize it. People wish to have you in their life. Totally random and probably a little bit personal, but in the past I have actually compared Aquarius men, specifically Aquarius men, to crack cocaine, because they're addictive as hell. Not that I've ever done crack cocaine, like no, you know, putting that all aside, but it's the addiction thing. Like, people get addicted to you, Aquarius. Like, your energy is addictive to the people around you, and people just want to be around you. You're the star that lights the whole show up. Okay, getting a little bit Truman Show there on me, Aquarius. But at least you'll know, if you do see the stars popping up in readings, it is referring to you as well as those meanings. Okay, moving on to Pisces. Pisces, your card in the Lenormand is the Book. Okay, secrets, hidden knowledge, keeping a secret, education, school, starting new chapters. You know, entering into the unknown. What is that next chapter going to bring? I quite often, you know, depending on the deck I'm using, because you can kind of see in quite a lot of these decks, we have the image of a closed book. Okay. And then in other decks, we have the open book. Okay, so Pisces, very changeable energy depending on what deck I'm using. Sometimes I see that as an open book, and sometimes I see that as a closed book. So, you know, the closed book is much more into the mystery, the secrets, the unknown stuff coming through, whereas the open book, I do quite a lot of the time realize, like, that's not the right word, read that as your life story. Okay, so the next chapter, what's coming next, because there is this new unknown factor with the book energy. It's all about, you know, you being the author of your own story, that you can choose where the story goes from here. I have at times compared this energy to, you know, the choose your own adventure books, where it's up to you. What are you going to go, this way or that way, or this way or that way? You know, you're going to bring in a brand new character? Awesome. Plot twist? Cool. So there is this element of, you know, really exploring, you know, the fairy tale that is your life. Well, see, that's the grim book there, the fairy tale that is your life. There's secrets to be exposed, things that you can unlock into the future, as long as you choose to write those into your own story here. Okay, so there is a lot of mystery that comes along with you, Pisces. And you know, quite often I do, you know, read the mystery of the book energy as, you know, below the surface, there's a lot going on. There's a lot more going on for you, Pisces, within your own intuition and spiritual self, that goes into this story of who you are and what your life is all about. You know, if you opened up that book of Pisces, it'd be like, you know, there's the story, but then every page has, you know, this many footnotes on what's going on for you in the energy as well. There's double layers, extra layers. It's like a opening up a book where it's like you got to work out a secret thing to get to the next challenge, and it's like a mystery, a murder mystery without the murder. Although if that's part of your story, that's part of your story, right? But it really allows you to, you know, enter into the future, knowing that you can change the future for yourself no matter what you decide here. It really does sort of show us that you've got a lot of ability to author your own narrative, Pisces. So I really enjoy that about you. So when you do see the book energy popping up in readings, it gives you that extra layer of information, knowing that that's you. A lot of education and learning stuff comes through with that as well. Sometimes I do see actual places as well, like libraries associated with that as well. You know, depending on what cards are around that book energy there as well. But that's all 12 signs being represented by the Lenormand. Like I've sort of alluded to quite a few times, I am a very intuitive reader. So sometimes you will see meanings and in things that I'm saying about the cards and the way that they're linking together, that may not match with traditional readings. You know, but I do tend to think of myself as, you know, very influenced by modern narrative, you know, movies, TV, pop culture, whatever's going on in the world, sometimes can influence the way that cards are interpreted. You know, for example, the snake energy. If somebody has a pet snake, and I'm doing a personal reading for somebody who has a pet snake, the snake energy is probably not going to be the exact same as what it would be for somebody who is scared of snakes. Okay, because that person interprets snakes as a good thing, a pet, you know. So a lot of the time, there is this personal interpretation that comes through. I do read very intuitively for, you know, obviously for the collective on YouTube here, but I do a lot of personal readings as well, where it does make a difference as well. But that's what we have for you today. You're more than welcome to check out another video. I will have shadow work on Monday, guys. Keep an eye out for that.